Hey guys, it's Dan, your host, your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for today. This one's going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. We're going to do our ranking of all of the episodes of Ones Who Live, the 6-episode event, and ranking them from worst to best. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another ranking video. This one, we're going to be going through all of the Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, the complete series, the complete 6-episode event. And we're going to rank the episodes from worst to best. So I always look forward to doing these videos after, of course, a season of the Walking Dead universe ends or anything of the sort. Now, we're also going to go through in a video later on this week. We're going to talk about the top 5 best characters. And I got a few other rankings for this show that I definitely want to do. But in terms of this one was definitely my most hyped one to do, which is the episodes. So, yeah, as you guys know, this show, it really, I mean, it was great. I mean, it really was a great show. They did a lot of things that, you know, I didn't expect them to do. There were definitely a lot of things that, you know, I mean, with any TV show, of course, there were definitely a few things I wish they could have done better. But overall, I really enjoyed the show, and I thought it was a really well done story for Rick and Michonne, and it ended Rick's character at a spot that needed to be ended. You know, we needed Rick's conclusion, and we got it, and it was really great. So with that being said, how do I look at all 6 of these episodes, and where do these all rank from worst to best? Let's get right into it. So, of course, this is my personal opinion. You guys can have yours. You can leave your list down below. Make sure to remain respectful. I'll always remind people, make sure to remain respectful of others' opinions. But with all that being said, let's get right into it. So, all right, number 6 is going to be Episode 6, the finale. So, yes, the finale is my least favorite episode of the show. I know, probably a major disappointment for a lot of people. Here is why. It's a great episode, which goes to show you, the worst episode is a great episode. Here's the problem, is that they wrapped up the CRM way too fast. That was my big thing I didn't want them to do, is to rush through the CRM very, very quickly. We have been building up to the CRM for 2 seasons of The World Beyond. We've also built up to the CRM for multiple seasons of Fear the Walking Dead. And we were building up to the CRM for multiple seasons of the original Walking Dead with Jadis. And now we get 1 season of them as a main threat, 6 episodes, and the leader is in 3 episodes. Yeah, no, it has to be my least favorite. This was really underwhelming, you know? And here's the thing, too, is that the CRM was built up to be a really big thing, and yet they just get blown up, and then it's like, oh, that's it, you know? It just felt very, you know, like, bare minimum. It felt very like, okay, you know, they're just doing the bare minimum here, and then they're getting Rick and Michonne home to their kids. Which, again, on a positive note, this is another reason, though, why I say this is a great episode. I loved Rick and Michonne. I love seeing Rick take down Major General Beale in a really exciting way, you know? And I love the flashbacks of everything Rick and Michonne have done up to this point. It really felt like a love letter to those characters. And you know, I thought it was really well done. I thought, you know, there was a lot of really good character stuff for Rick and Michonne. And again, the reunion with the kids was absolutely phenomenal. Getting to see Rick meet RJ for the first time and seeing Rick and Judith share a scene before they closed this thing out was really great. You know, I heard some people complaining about, oh, they filmed it in the woods and stuff like that. I don't care about that. That's not a big deal to me. That was a great reunion scene, and it was well done. So that's my least favorite, only really because of the CRM conclusion. I just felt it was a little too quick, but it doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the episode, because I thought there were a lot of really good things in that episode as well. Now, number 5 is then going to be episode 3. Now, episode 3, I'm going to be honest here, is it's almost as great as the rest of these other 4. The only thing that bogs this one down, and it's actually a recent thing I'll say, is Pearl Thorne's villain arc. I just don't appreciate her villain storyline at all. This is the only episode from any other episode that's not the finale that I will say after the finale, this one is a tiny bit affected. I just don't appreciate the way that they treated Thorne's character. I liked Pearl Thorne as an ally, you know, and I don't know if I'm the only one that thought that, but I liked her as an ally, not as a threat, you know? So that's the only thing that kind of bogs this one down a tiny bit. But everything else in this episode was phenomenal. I loved Michonne. I loved how badass she was. I loved the scene where Rick tries to get her to leave without him, and then Michonne's like, fuck that shit, you know? And it was a really exciting scene because, you know, you had a lot of really big emotions. You know, Rick realizes that he can't get away. You've got a lot of really great, you know, moments between them, and by the time that the episode is done, Michonne takes Rick and absolutely chucks him out of the helicopter with herself as well, because she does not want Rick being like that. You know, she doesn't want this place, you know, taking over his mind anymore. So it was a really exciting episode, and I thought it was really good. There's a lot of really good Walker action in that one. Jadis was a great threat, and really good. Yeah, really, really good episode. Number 4 is then going to be episode 5. So now this episode right here, I must say, was really, really tense. This episode was really exciting. We got to see Father Gabriel from the main series, which was amazing, through flashbacks with Jadis for her final episode. And basically, we find out that during the events of the main series, her and Gabriel actually were out there communicating the whole time and kind of keeping tabs on each other, you know? And it was really cool. It was a really fun episode with Rick and Michonne. You know, they helped those survivors that end up teaming up with Jadis just because, you know, they're desperate for food or whatever. And I actually thought that they sent Jadis out in a really respectful way. You know, Anne, Jadis, whatever you want to call her. It was Officer Stokes, you know. It was a great send-off for her character. It really was. And I think they did it in a good enough way to where I was really satisfied with it. And Rick mercy killing her and stuff like that. And then, of course, getting the engagement between him and Michonne at the end. Awesome. Honestly, really, really great stuff. I really enjoyed that episode. I heard that episode got a lot of hate. I'll never understand the hate for that episode. It was really exciting, really, really good episode. And I even rank it higher than episode 3. I think it's really good. Coming to number 3 is then going to be episode 2. Now, I'm sure this one is going to bug people. I'm sure it is. Dan, the Michonne episode is number 3. I love that episode. I really do. And I got to admit, it's up there for me. It really is. The way that Nat's character worked in the story was phenomenal. I loved the group that Michonne was with. I love seeing her out there looking for Rick. I love seeing the desperation for survival out there, you know, for a year trying to get air and stuff like that. It goes to show you how messed up the CRM is. And that's what I loved about the episode. Not to mention, unlike the other 3 episodes before, I did have minor nitpicks with episode 3. I had obviously a lot of problems with episode 6. And episode 5, I had a few, you know, like, why is Jadis praising their love all of a sudden? Like, there was a lot of things, you know, little nitpicks in episode 5 and 3. So that's more so why I say 2 is better. Plus, because I genuinely have no issues with episode 2. I don't mind Nat's death at all. I really don't. I think the death makes sense. It really does. And also, how are you ever going to have him survive the story? I mean, he would literally be a third wheel. You know, like, he wouldn't have any purpose in this story. I loved how they do it. Rick and Michonne's reunion, admittedly, in that episode got me tearing up. It was really, 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 really well done. And Jadis' appearance in this one and her threatening Rick in the way that she does, it was a fantastic episode. I really loved it. Rick being scared that the helicopter's coming and stuff. I mean, nah, guys, honestly, I think this one's very underappreciated. It's a really amazing episode. Coming in at number 2 is then going to be episode 4. So, yes, this is the Danai Gurira written episode, and this is the episode where basically Rick and Michonne are in that apartment for the entire thing. This one is my second favorite. Now, originally when I watched this one, I remember I was like, yeah, it probably is my favorite. No, it's not my favorite, but it's right there, though. It's a great episode. It's very well done. The dialogue feels very authentic. They didn't even really need any music this episode either. Like, there was a lot of times where it was just the actors doing their thing, you know, and I think that's what I like about it. I know some people say that, oh, well, we didn't see CRM this episode, we didn't see all these things. I don't really mind that at all, because we needed this episode for Rick and Michonne's characters to reconnect. You know, this is a love story show, which I will admit there's times where the love story was a little much. I will admit that. But in this episode, not at all. I liked it. The only time I didn't like the love story in this show was in episode 5, which is why episode 5 is ranked lower than 2, is because I can't stand when Jadis is like, Rick, when you were doing this, I didn't care. you and Michonne together, you can do anything. I'm like, oh my god. Honestly, I'm dying of cringe here. But, episode 4 didn't have that. It was a just genuine, great love episode. It was really good. You had the Carl mention from Rick and how, he can't figure out to die all over again and some of these really just insane moments. And I know Rick pissed a lot of people off in this episode, but you got to remember, Rick has been with this group way longer than he was with Michonne and his family and all this stuff. Of course he's going to be trapped in their mindset. Of course he's going to be trapped in that mentality, and I love that Michonne pulled him out of it. It was really great, and he came to his senses by the end of the episode, and I think it was an episode that we very much needed, and it was wonderfully written by Danai Gurira as well. Sometimes people say sometimes less is more, This episode's the perfect example. This episode's very simple. You don't really have much going on. That's the point, and that's what I enjoy about it. It's really well done. But you want to talk about an episode that I think is masterfully done, and honestly, probably a top 5 episode of the Walking Dead universe altogether. And the reason why I say this show really succeeded in the end, regardless of how I feel about the end of the CRM, number 1, episode 1. Holy shit. I mean, seriously, this felt like a goddamn movie. It really did. Like, the other episodes were amazing and good and all that stuff. Episode 1... I mean, where do I even begin with this? I mean, check out my review if you want to hear more information than just a few minutes of me going over it. But, I mean, instantly the opening scene with the soundtrack as Rick's about to cut himself, and you see where his head's at. And this is why I'm saying, I know people are going to say, like, oh, damn, the CRM went to shit, and this is, like, their biggest episode. I recognize that. But this episode, I don't look at as a CRM episode. I look at this as a great character episode. And if you look at it that way, it's one of the best Walking Dead episodes they've ever put out. I'm not even exaggerating. It is, in my opinion, the best Rick Grimes episode for his character we've ever watched, to be honest. I mean, he chopped his damn hand off just for a chance to get away, just to get recaptured 2 seconds later. And that's how dire everything was, And he mentally was broken this whole episode. And we watch a guy go from tempted to go back to his family to broken. I mean, absolutely broken, We got introduced to Esteban this episode, who I wish they did more with, but I really enjoyed him in this one. We got to see a lot of really great things for the characters. We got to see Okafor, which is one of the greatest one-episode characters I've ever watched. I mean, Okafor was phenomenal. We found out that he bombed Atlanta and he bombed Los Angeles and, really upped the purpose of his character pretty much right away. Pearl Thorne, as much as I don't like where the character went, I really liked her in this episode, and I thought she had a lot of promise. And overall, I mean, this episode was perfection. It was absolute perfection, and I would watch this over and over again. Hell, I have, It's my most rewatched episode of the show. So for that, I think it definitely earns my number 1 spot. I think it is just masterfully done. And it is a phenomenal way for Rick Grimes to come back. I mean, honestly, like, you wanted a return episode for Rick to pay off after all these years? That's pretty high standards, and they somehow exceeded my expectations with that one. I mean, honestly, like, I don't even think it's kind of close. Episode 1 is, like, elite. Like, it is top 10 best character episodes of television for me. It is so good. So, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm really not. And I know it's not recency bias because the season's long gone now, and I still say that. So, and the CRM is long gone now, and I still say that. That episode is just as amazing as it was when it first aired. Yes, I wish the CRM went somewhere, but that doesn't change how amazing that first episode was. Overall, as a standalone, chef's kiss. Absolutely. So, this show overall, as I've said, it got us where we needed to go. Rick had a family reunion that we've been waiting to see for a long time. Yes, there are definitely issues here and there with Ones Who Live. I don't disagree. But I think overall the show did its job. I think it overall got us to where it needed to get to. I think it overall did it fulfilled the purpose, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I think the show overall definitely delivered in that aspect. So let me know your thoughts on The Ones Who Live. Let me know your thoughts on where you'd rank all these episodes. Post comments down below. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon for The Walking Dead. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.